Hey everybody, Dante with Oppuous with another installment of Dante's Information Download. I am joined today by Jason Lambert of AppDirect. So as most of everybody knows, Oppuous is a technology advisor. We help streamline everything from buying, procuring, installing, and managing software, hardware, IT-related services as well. We also have an energy division, which we'll talk about in another installation of Dante's Information Download. But what we're talking about today is something that I love to do with clients, and it's called a Microsoft Envision session, or just an Envision session, because as we continue to grow and go to market, we're going to do these for different types of software solutions that people are using. As we know, Oppuous goes to market with several hundreds of engineers and cloud specialists nationwide to help streamline the way that you buy, find, and do technology purchases and implementations. And so I wanted to hand it off to Jason so he can tell a little bit more about himself, talk about AppDirect and why this is such a great partnership that we have and why it brings value to clients. And then we'll kind of hop into some more things and do a deeper dive. We've been having a lot of fun with my clients, and I want to have even more fun, really help people streamline. So I'll hand it over to him so he can tell us a little bit more about himself, a little bit more about AppDirect and our relationship and how we go to market. So go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, thanks, Dante. So Jason Lambert, I'm a cloud solutions executive over here at AppDirect. I've been in the infrastructure business, the Microsoft cloud business really for many, many years. Channel guy, love the channel, and decided to spend some time with AppDirect. I've been here for a number of months, and AppDirect is really an interesting business. The main core of AppDirect is actually building platforms. When Dante and I talk about the marketplace and all the vendors around cloud that we have on the marketplace, that's a homegrown AppDirect solution. So over the years, as we build marketplaces, some of the big names is Vodafone, ADP, T-Mobile. These are all large, customers that are running. I think we just got Workday too.
Yeah.
They're all running on an AppDirect built platform. And so through our evolution, we hired or purchased actually some master agents, and we've created an opportunity through bringing advisors on, and it's really been a fabulous relationship that we have with our advisors. And we're building up this cloud business. We're bringing cloud to the advisor community and to the channel. So that's something that as an organization we're really excited about. So Envision sessions, as we're here today to talk about, they're great ways to really dig in. And maybe you're thinking, I'd like to deal, I've signed up for Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 is really we call it the gateway drug, because everybody just, it's super easy to get signed up on. Exchange is old, it's proven, it's a proven solution. You can have it all hosted in the cloud and it works, it's very functional, and that's exciting. But maybe you're thinking to yourself, like, I've started there, but I really don't know where to go. So we've built Envision sessions. We started with Microsoft, and we've broke it down into 3 different categories. As you guys know, there's hundreds of different solutions at Microsoft. These are the ones that we think will most impact your business, and the ones we think you should take greater advantage of. Doesn't mean that we can't talk about others. So if you jump on an Envision session, you want to talk about something else, we're all about it, as long as we know what you want to talk about. But let's say you've taken Microsoft Teams, you got 365 set up, you got Teams, it's part of the license that you bought. You're using it for chat, you're using it maybe to share some files or create a team, talk about different departments, but you really haven't taken advantage of the productivity element of it, or collaboration, or maybe you don't realize that Team has a whole telephony backbone, right? So maybe you have an older system, maybe you have a system that you'd like to look at different opportunities with. Teams integrates your IVR, your call center, do round robins, it can do ring groups, it can do, your automated attendant. There's like all these functions that can be put into Microsoft Teams. And rather than having like your mobile number and your office number and this number and that number, you could have like a find me, follow me thing through Teams, where literally if I just want to reach out to you, I could just call one number and it'll get you on Teams, your phone, your office, wherever you are. It's amazing, but you didn't know that. So unless you have an Envision session, we drill into it, you probably wouldn't know that was there and it existed.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I have those conversations on a daily basis about communication, right? Like I've got a really strong background in UCAS. That's where I kind of cut my teeth in the tech space. And, I have people come up to me and say, hey, we're looking at doing Slack. We're looking at maybe a Discord channel. We're looking at a way to communicate with people inside and outside of our organization in multi-modes, right? And so we usually sit down, talk a little bit more about Teams, right? You already have Microsoft licensing. Why not, really unleash the power of Teams? And they don't know, right? A lot of people don't know all these things, right? Tying in the Active Directory so you can quickly find your staff, being able to have one number instead of multiple numbers, right? There's never an easy way to always get a hold of people. Contact center, Jason talked about contact center, tying that into it as well, turning a chat to a call to a video, right? And being able to explore what that looks like. Even larger than that, right, is the next segment where we talk about a lot is cybersecurity, right?
Oh yeah.
It is the big scary thing, right? Cybersecurity is a table stake of any organization. My thoughts are you're never good, right? You never have enough conversations around it. Things are changing on a daily basis. I just posted something recently about AI and how it's going to become very important to have that conversation as it pertains to cybersecurity. And, Microsoft, tell us a little bit more. They have some placements on the Gartner quadrant, right? So there's some really massive investments that they've done specifically in this segment.
Yeah, absolutely. So you may look back and think, hey, Dante, I don't know what you're smoking, but I wouldn't trust Microsoft with my security at all. And I would agree with you 100%, but that's an old conversation. I would say, if you really took a hard look at Microsoft security today, Satya has really said, hey, we're investing billions of dollars, with a B. And so over the last couple of years, moving into 2023, I believe it was anywhere between $2 and $4 billion. And Microsoft has actually showed up in 9 Magic Quadrants, which actually just reminded me, there's a write-up that I could send out to you where now Microsoft is best in class for security around Office 365. And you might be watching this going no way would I ever do that. But there's third-party solutions I trust more, but there's it was one of the labs, I can't remember the lab company, but they just endorsed Microsoft for it. So I would encourage you to take a look. Identity protection, device and app management, threat protection, it's all part of this category. I wouldn't, we don't necessarily, again, have to go through each piece of this. If you want to, we can. But if you really just want to talk about, mobile device management, maybe something around Intune or, I don't know, whatever you want to learn more about and see how it could best impact your organization, we're all about it. And one of the other neat things that that you might want to consider. So with me making the statements that I did around Microsoft over the last number of years, you may have third-party vendors that you've deployed, and I'm not going to get into specific names, but they're protecting your environment, they're taking care of your email, they're taking care of other things. You may already be paying for those licenses, those services, in the licenses that you purchased. So it might be an opportunity for us to expose that to you and then be able to say, hey, when these other vendors come up for renewal, I'm not going to renew with them because I already got that protection through Microsoft and I'm already paying for the licenses that I need. So that might be a great cost savings to consider.
Yeah, I mean, we had an Envision session with a client probably about a month ago. We had it lined up and they had to reschedule because they had a cybersecurity threat the day of. And they're like, hey, we're in the thick of it. We got to reschedule. We had a cyber attack. And I was like, well, we definitely need to reschedule because cybersecurity is a big part of what we do on these Envision sessions, or we can do if it's something, right? And so cybersecurity has always been important. 2020 pushed everybody to work from home. We're all holding on to these mobile devices. We're all on laptops. We're doing van life, surfing to different spots and different Wi-Fi connections. And so because of that, cybersecurity has become even more important and more pervasive, right? Because it's becoming more and more easy for people to infiltrate your network, to infiltrate what you're doing. And so that's why we have these conversations, take an hour to talk about Teams, take an hour to talk about, cybersecurity, blend them both together, talk about the next session of the explore part of Azure environments, things like that. So it's massive. I can't, state it enough.
Yeah, that's great. So we'll talk about Azure a little bit here. Virtual desktops. Many people, as Dante pointed out, we're all holding on to our devices. We're on the go, from place to place. Microsoft has a fantastic footprint around Azure virtual desktops or Windows 365, depending on what kind of environment you want to get into. It's amazing to be able to go from not only now area to area, but device to device. So, historically, you grab your laptop, you're bringing it, but maybe leave your laptop at home. You can log in from any device anywhere on the planet and get to your desktop through Azure Virtual Desktop. And so you may be in the middle of writing a really important document. You got to go, you run out the door, you forget your laptop, but you got to get it finished. It's a time crunch. You're on Azure Virtual Desktop. You can get that completed from any internet connection on the planet. Maybe that's all too much for you. Maybe you want to get your feet wet, and there's no better way to get started. I talked about the gateway drug being M364 or 365. Azure Backup, again, another easy way. It's a solution that has made its footprint, right? It's well established is the word I'm looking for. And Azure Disaster Recovery. Both are great solutions. Doesn't cost a whole lot of money. It's a way for you to get into the service, or maybe you don't have a really good backup or DR strategy today. Microsoft really does have a good backup and DR strategy. Something you might want to take advantage of. Maybe you didn't even know. Ask some questions, we can get those answers. Assessments and migrations are certainly really important. I just want to really touch base on, over the years, I've had people that'll say, hey, Jason, here's a spreadsheet of like all my servers and like all my physical hardware. Can you please quote me in Azure? And I will tell you right out of the gate, I dread it because those numbers are not what your server is or what your application really requires to run. You're not optimized. You're running well. And the thing is, over the years, we sell you Ferraris. We sell you really, really powerful servers to run your infrastructure, but you're not maximizing it. And that's okay. But when you move into Azure, you want to be cloud ready. You want to get the server requirements that's going to run your application very, very well. So we want to do an assessment. We want to right size and get a good idea of what the application will look like. Then we do an estimate for you. And boy, oh boy, you guys be thrilled. Lots of customers are moving out into Azure because you can take advantage of that OpEx instead of the CapEx expense. And it's fantastic for your organization.
Yeah,
our Azure numbers are growing like crazy. So go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, no, it really is, right? So changing from that CapEx to OpEx model is great for cash flow optimization and all kinds of different financial things that you might be getting into, and we won't go down that path. But that assessment and migration is massive, right? Having somebody to help hold your hand and steer the way through this thing. I have people that have bought tools previous to our engagements, and they're not using it to the best ability, right? Because the tool is just a tool. If you were never taught how to use it, if nobody really showed you the way, if you didn't really do it and implement it correctly, it's not as powerful as it can be. And what with this Envision sessions, right, and declaring that roadmap really helps you do that. I think about a client that I had, a smaller organization, 40 people, right? And they were looking at software solutions over here, this one to do that, this one for product management, this one for communication. They were already a Microsoft client. So we sat down with them, said, all right, what are you doing today? How are you doing this? How are you doing that? Okay, why are you looking at this? Why? And we ended up saving them $2,000 a month, right? They're, a 40-person organization. If you're a 300-person organization, think about the cost savings there. And really, what we ended up doing, bigger than the cost savings, although that is massive, $24,000 a year for organizations, a pretty good penny. We saved them a ton of time and headache with the way that they were doing things. And that was really the crux of why we sat down. And I was like, there is an easier way to do that. give us an hour of your time and I will guarantee that I will show you the way with this, right? And I said it on that call, and Jason loves when I say this. Every time I'm on one of these Envision sessions, it's like nerd Christmas to me. We're opening up a package and it's like, what? I didn't even know that this is, and we're going to the next thing. It's like, and you have this too. And it's amazing to see. And I learn something every single time, right? In my own environment, in other people's environments, there's different verticals. There's different ways that you're doing things. There's ways that you might be doing things incorrectly. There's lots of ways to save time, right? So it's not always about the money, it's about time, right? We're all getting spread really, really thin, right? There's a lot of reorgs that are happening. People are having to put on more hats than they were even previous to that. And so with us, right, you're hiring a network of engineers and cloud specialists nationwide to help you. So you're offsetting the cost of that too. So it's a really smart move to spend an hour of your time if you're a procurement expert, if you're an IT leader, you're a small business owner. I mean, I deal with people that are one-person shops as well. And to really kind of streamline that portion of it. So disaster recovery, talk about it all the time, right? We can help you with that. Even if you already have a solution, it might make more sense to switch over to it. It's worth the time to at least look at it, think about it, and see what's going on. Maybe it's different than when you looked at it previous to that. So I'll step back so we can jump into SaaS and licensing, right? Because this is where I get even more excited is to talk about the marketplace, to talk about the platform.
That's awesome. Maybe this will be a nerd present for you. So
yeah.
SaaS. So we understand SaaS, software as a service. It's exploding. Organizations are taking advantage of it. It's increasing productivity. It's making people's lives easier. As long as you have an expense account, for the most part, you can sign up your team for almost any solution on the planet, and you expense it back to the back office, which is great on the front end. But on the back end, your accounts payable people and your office people struggling. There's you got dozens or hundreds of people in your organization. You're using multiple solutions. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing, and but the brain's paying for it all.
Yeah.
As your back office. So we've got a solution, a service. We've heard it, and we can go out. We can take a look across your entire organization without impacting your organization, and bring back a report to the decision makers that says, hey, you're using, 20, 30, 40, 50 different SaaS solutions in your company. Oh, and by the way, there's redundancy, right? So you've got, one department using solution A, one department using solution B, but they're the same functional solution. Mm-hmm. Why don't we consolidate that? Take, instead of, bring it together, maybe now you have 50 users, maybe there's a price break for that many users, right? So we can save you money and optimize and reduce that SaaS footprint and still provide the organization with the flexibility and productivity that it had before. We have actually talked with a couple of VPs that spend almost half their day trying to figure out all this SaaS stuff going on in the back office. These guys they're getting paid a lot of money. They got other things they want to be able to do. So take advantage of that session, see if there's a way for us to optimize. And then the real cool power, I talked about our platform at the beginning here. You can move those SaaS. So now you got you optimized, you can move those SaaS vendors into our marketplace, which we have probably about 600 relationships with different SaaS vendors. And then you only have one invoice. All those vendors that we have relationships with, we flow it into one invoice. That's one invoice that goes to your back office, and that's one payment. And it's just pay for AppDirect. You still have relationships, with the vendors. We still have those conversations if you like, however you like. But boy, oh boy, talk about consolidating and making your life easier.
Yeah. I mean, I get super excited about the marketplace. I talk to everybody about it. You can ask the grocery clerk, even at my local King Soopers. I'm like really jazzed about it because whether you're a one-person organization, whether you've got hundreds of thousands of people across a larger organization, you're going to find the value in it, right? And I talk about the front end, right? So you're going over here to get a phone solution. You're going over here to get some kind of financial software. You're going over here to get a creative software. You're making 13,000 different phone calls, 13,000 different demos. In the marketplace, you just go in, you say, hey, I'm looking for this type of solution. Boom, there they are, side by side. You can vet them, see the reviews, see the demos on them. You can schedule a conversation to talk about it if you need more, right? Our engineering staff and our cloud specialist staff will sit down and help you decide on which one's going to be a good solution. But being able to take what you already have existing as well and put it in that and consolidate it, take it off the spreadsheets, take that burden off the procurement office, take that burden off your IT staff is massive, right? We were talking hundreds of hours of just time and just tediousness, right? And we talk about people that buy solutions over here in this department and over there. Jason talked about that, right? I have a real story with a solo entrepreneur who bought their Adobe licenses twice. They had bought Adobe 6 months, and then 6 months later, they forgot they had it and bought it again, so they were double paying, right? And that was just one person. That's not even an organization of 300 plus. And so you see that type of cost saving instantly by migrating all the licenses to one place. As Jason said, you're able to see all the spend in one area. You get one invoice, so you're not hitting your credit card a bunch of different times. It makes it nice and easy. You can maintain the relationships you have with your vendors already, right? We just simplifying it by consolidating all your spend, seeing the utilization. So you can see, hey, I got 300 licenses. We're only using 250. Let's cut out 50 of those, right? See some cost savings there. And to be able to streamline the implementation of them. Got somebody coming into an organization, click a button, boom. Dante's in marketing, he needs Adobe, he needs his phones, and he needs his, whatever other tools. And click it, boom, and then provision it and get it set up for me. Me as an end user, I've got one login. I don't have to remember 17 different passwords. And I've got all my little tiles right there as soon as I open it up. So we talk about streamlining operational efficiencies right there on the front end too. So it's not only just purchasing, implementing, operating, expensing, right? So we're really your best friend, right? When it comes to procurement, when it comes to IT administration, that's what we're looking to do, is just streamline everything and make it really nice and easy.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think, we'll go, what's in it for you as the customer? On top of what we went through, just to recap, right? It's a free, pragmatic 60-minute workshop with myself. We're building these out. By the way, it's not presented on the last slide, but we have a Google Workspace Envision session now. So it is done by my colleague, Ali. So we've got other people that are getting involved in these Envision sessions. We're looking to solve business needs. My goal is to solve them with Microsoft, but I'm also neutral. So if we're talking and you're thinking, hey, Microsoft is good, but maybe AWS for said solutions is better, I'm all about it. Like, I want to make sure that you get what you need to run your business. Sure, I'd love it to be Microsoft, but if it winds up being something else, we're going to do right by you, and we'll make that happen. It's a simplified experience. Right? We're not trying to make it crazy. We're trying to boil it down. We're trying to make it easy for you to be able to make those decisions. There's an Envision session report. We're able on some of our solutions to get a report out to you, kind of let you know where we're at. It's a little bit of, overview of what we talked about and some of the objectives or some ideas of solutions that we can deliver to you. And then a statement of work. So we talked about migration and assessments. Let's say you're thinking like, hey, let's do an assessment. Let's see where we're at. We might have to tweak it up a little bit, but we've got some pre-canned statements of work that we can just tweak up and get out to you, and we can get things moving on, so it's not wasting your time waiting around for different things to happen to get that set up for you. And then I'll flip it over to Dante to let you know how to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So folks, like I said, we're always very, very excited. As I said, it's Nerd Christmas for me every single time that we do these. It's super easy to make it happen. That's all. The name of the game for me is simplification, right? So go to oppuous.com/envision. Schedule your session today. It's only an hour of your time. As Jason said, we're not attached to it only being Microsoft environment. So we save people tons of money on AWS. We work with Google for work. We've got, thousands of different software solutions. So it is really a complimentary session to figure out the best way to optimize your environment, point blank, period. And then having that statement of work. So go book your session. Maybe above me, might below me, depending on what platform you're watching this on, oppuous.com/envision. We'll set up the arrangements of the call, and we make it super simple, super easy for you. As always, folks, we appreciate the time. I really look forward to serving you and helping you out on this journey, this roadmap of IT and software and SaaS and energy, whatever it is, right? And we're looking to simplify and really just take things to that very next level so you can do what you do best, right? You can run your business the way you need to. So Jason, I want to thank you again for your time. Always a pleasure. Like I said, I love spending time doing this stuff. I'm really looking forward to it, folks. Everybody have a great day. See you later.
Bye.